Doesn't it bother you that our mothers are still in marriage, but many of their daughters are divorced? It goes to show that as far as marriage is concerned, there is something fundamental we are missing in our generation.
It's because you don't understand that women in that generation, we witnessed our mother suffering. You didn't, because you were too busy outside playing and enjoying yourself, whilst we were in the house witnessing bad things in this so-called perfect marriage in your eyes. We heard our mother complain about our father. We heard our mother complain about how many times our father cheated. We heard about how many times our fathers impregnated another women outside of the marriage. We heard everything. We heard our aunt got HIV by our uncle. I have one of my auntie. She's now passed away. Her husband gave her HIV. He went to work in a foreign country, and then when he came back, the gift he asked for her was HIV. You, African boy, African man, you still have a sugary version of your marriage, of the father and your mother, whilst us, we know the reality of it. Most of the time, our mother were the one who suffered. They suffered the most. So when we say for the better and the worse is only for the women. Because you grew up witnessing this, because most of the time, boys, you know what's going on. You know that the father is not the best father. But because your mother stayed, you grew up believing that my wife also has to stay. Even though your father mistreated your mother, you still want your wife to accept everything you are doing to her, even if it's wrong, because this is how you have been raised. Most of African men, you have heard that women, wife, must accept everything. But what is happening now is this girl like me, who grew up hearing this type of story from my mom, from my auntie, from the elders. When is our time to get married? We absolutely don't want to go through the same cycle. This is why you are disturbed, because you are facing women who are choosing themselves over their husband. And this is why they are getting divorced. Because when you are still stuck in the ideal marriage of your mom and dad, we know what it is. We know how sour are these marriage. We know that this type of marriage come with a cost. And the only person who has to pay for the cost is the women. So no, life is too short. Life is too short for me to be with a man who is not willing to treat me the same way I treat him. Life is too short for any woman, anyone, to accept the bare minimum. I refuse to be a good wife to a bad husband. I refuse to give the best of me to a man who will only give the worst of him. This is why you are surprised, because this women generation no longer want this. We are healing and we are breaking the curse of toxic marriages. And you are stuck in the past. The only thing you want is to repeat the same trauma over and over again. Because whether you want it or not, this marriage affects the children. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because most of the time, men are selfish. You only think about your own well-being. You don't care about the wife. You don't care about how your children will be affected in the future. Stop. Enough. We are out.